So you're Frank.
And you're Frank.
And together we are Frankly Speaking.
Your party at the door, bring it open mind. Oh, mind. Past the sound bites, truths where we explore. Frankly Speaking, that's what this mic is for. Frankly Speaking, let's go open the door. Frankly Speaking, you can ask for more. Frankly Speaking.
Hey.
Hello.
Folks, here we are. Again, this is Frank.
And you're Frank.
And we are Frankly
Speaking.
That's correct.
It's not as good as the beginning of the intro. I think it's not good, or we laughed and everything.
We had a friend fix the beginning, a friend of mine, close. So close he could be my son.
Nice.
Liam took
He
care
is your
to
son, Liam.
Fix it up to get the high resolution going on the beginning.
Nice.
On our intro, and that's it. We have Bridget, we have Monica, we have Frankie, and Frankie. I'm Frank,
And I'm
that's
Frankie.
So
Or Franklin.
yeah, we got a lot of things happening this last week. We got a lot of things coming up the next week, but here, right now, we're watching the world wake up from history.
There you
Are
go.
we not?
Okay.
Isn't it crazy?
We are.
It's a wild world right now. A lot of stuff going on.
Lots of dips.
Dips and doodles.
I was just talking about that today, actually, about history and how is it possible that history can be correct when we can't even get today's news correct? Like on the day of it, you have five different ways or views on the same story. How is it possible that we can ever believe what's been written over the years?
Well, what's interesting is it used to be that you might have differing opinions on different channels, but now you've got the same opinion on every channel, and it's as if the parroted words from one channel are the same words that you hear on another channel. Which
Almost
is
like
crazy.
it's paid for.
It's not only paid for, but it's orchestrated, which is kind of funny.
Isn't it
Yeah,
called Project Mockingbird or something?
I think so. It should be, right?
But they didn't get to us. So we're going to talk
No,
to you live. We're going to get your views, your comments, real stories, and bring it to you raw. That's it. That's what we're going to do at Frankly Speaking.
I do want to bring up one thing before we get too crazy into this. We have Bridget is on the verge. It's the eve of the morning of the release of your new single.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Which
at
is?
midnight.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It's called Don't Waste My Time. It will be out on midnight or at midnight. Spotify, Amazon, Apple,
Okay, never mind.
Pandora, all of the digital streaming platforms that you can find. You just look up Brigavelli. Don't waste my time. Oh, good. Now
Yeah,
I
that-
can test my
yeah,
glasses.
yeah.
Make sure I look a little better.
We installed all these things here that Frank's going to be
And
doing.
I fall asleep
and
at
he's
the wheel.
sleeping. And I'm pointing at him like, hey, you know what? When it's on her, we're gonna change the camera here. Yeah, just like it's on us, and we're talking now. But like
different
that's
angle.
different angles. We we got all this equipment now.
Let.
He's looking at me
let
like I'm
Brigavelli-
crazy. Like, what?
No,
are you?
I'm like, what the hell? He's pointing down to the box, and I'm like, oh, geez.
I forgot we had
Multitasking.
that.
Yes.
Little challenge.
So yeah, the single is coming out tonight.
Great.
Yeah, all the digital streaming platforms. The video is now just about complete, so that will be out soon. To be determined on the date. I have a
what I'm
couple
waiting
more
for.
things that we're doing. It's great.
Who shot that video? What's his name?
Panoramic Films. His name is Zach.
Oh, that's
he's also
awesome.
known as Half. He was great. He got the vision down. There's a lot of people that I'm gonna end up revealing and give credit to, the people who were involved, and just a lot of people that I have to thank for this, because it's really, I think, one of our best work.
And is this a pop tune?
This is R&B. I'd say this is real R&B
nice,
capture.
nice,
You heard her
Yeah.
sing, right? It's R&B.
Oh,
It's
I've
like
heard
Yeah.
her sing.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard her sing.
Yeah, sometimes I have a pop vision, but this one in specific is just straight R&B.
He wants me to ping pong.
No,
He wants me
not
to
the
go
whole
from
time,
this-
but I mean, go
then he
back
wants
to the
do
whole
this, that, and the other thing, and then
Yeah,
go
that's
back to
good.
you.
We're gonna have to hire someone
and
to
then
take
we're
care
gonna
of
go to
this.
the middle again.
Frank wants to do 900 things at
I
once
wanna
until it
talk, I wanna
starts.
talk. But that's okay. So that's a great thing. And as far as where it's going to be available?
So as far as the single, it's going to be on all digital streaming platforms.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the top basic ones that you think of, just type in
YouTube,
Brigavelli.
Spotify.
Yep. That Brigavelli, Don't Waste My Time.
There
Great.
you go. Brigavelli.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of time,
What?
let's get moving.
What time is it?
No, you always want to jump the gun. We got a 15-minute. We got a 15-minute moment in the beginning.
Intro.
Don't you want to talk a little bit there?
I do. I want to say that
This is
if
Monica,
anybody's
by the
been,
way.
Hi. If anybody's been having interesting times this week with emotions, the energies are off the charts. Schumann resonance is affecting our nervous system and pushing all the darkness that we have buried inside, all the stuff that's really heavy for us, pushing it to the surface. So I had a bit of a meltdown last night, an emotional upheaval. And,
She had an emotion.
That might
emotional breakdown.
explain a few things in our household. As I'm watching Bridget, like going, "Holy crap!
Yeah,
is
it's-
that
What's the
us?"
cause of it? The what was it?
It's the energies coming down,
Okay.
helping us get rid of dark energies,
Okay.
intense emotions that we've been holding on to. It's time to release and let them go so we don't carry baggage with us to the next,
Yeah,
The next stop.
the next,
the next argument.
existence or the next part of your life. you
Yeah.
know?
Look at him go.
I love
Look
that.
at him go. Look
Yeah,
at him
that's
go.
So
really
we let
nice.
it go. We either have an emotional breakdown or, we could get sick. Sometimes that comes out that way. And it depends on what part of your body. If it's lungs, it could be grief that's coming out. Sometimes, if you have stomach ache, it's something else. So, just pay attention to that. Don't think that, you need to rush to the doctor just because you're having a stomach issue. Just sit with it and ask your body what it's about, and it'll show you. You'll get it instantly in your mind.
This is
what
no
it's
joke.
about.
I think I'm gonna keep Monica on speed dial here.
I'll tell you
New
what.
doctor.
Yeah,
I have her on speed dial, and I cry to her all the time. It's just the way
And
it
look
is.
at you now.
I know.
Look at me
Happy.
now, the biggest crybaby in the room.
you are. Frank, you are so funny.
Sometimes, yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Sometimes.
You know, somebody asked me if I was on the show with Robert De Niro the other day. They're like, "Is that Robert De Niro?"
Look at his face. He
Hey,
does
talking to me?
yeah, you
Are
don't.
you talking to me?
Can you switch to
I
the
don't-
Zoom on you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got to do the other one, Frank.
Oh, shoot.
We got to learn how to.
The other Frank. Hey, you know what? I have a problem with him nowadays. The dude has gone off the freaking rails.
There you go.
Wow.
So now,
pretty good.
it's almost like the whole Tesla thing. Everybody's everybody wanted to buy an electric car, and then they get all, Elon Musk goes into his thing now, and you know how they are with this guy, right?
Yeah.
De Niro, hey.
That was really good.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I always make him put that face on. For
I love
people.
it though. I love it. I really do. You're definitely a younger version.
I got to remember that one is the women. Am I correct on that?
Oh,
one
women
is
are
the
one.
women, and
Remember that.
3
Is the man.
is the men. And then
And
the
then
2 is
in
easy.
between. There
But
you
1
go.
is the women. So I
just
can remember
1, 2, 3.
WWW1 is the women. All right. And by the next show, excuse our
You
parents.
could just spell one. W-O.
We'll be back in
We'll
in
perfect
true.
it,
Yeah,
I'm
we're gonna
sure.
perfect it as we're going along.
Yeah. If not, we're gonna get someone to come in here. Maybe
You get somebody else.
Isn't this how life
we'll get
works
Ariel.
anyway? You just-
Paula. We'll get Paula.
Nah, I got
with the
I got
baby.
I
She's-
want control of those damn buttons. I got it.
I think I found another job for Paula.
Oh boy.
I keep her busy like 75 to 80 hours a week already.
Nah, I got it.
She's looking away right now. She's like, I am not doing the podcast flowers.
You know, we were
woman.
trying to get her in the room, and then she backed out.
Yeah, I
What was that all
know.
about?
Well, I don't know. I started talking about Vale Farms because Vale Farms is going to be helping out with some stuff, and we're going to be. Are you're mentioning that? You're going to bring
Yeah,
that up,
yeah,
right? Yeah. So what's going on in what are we doing? Are we doing this first? Are we doing? Or you
I
wanna,
have a few things I want to say.
why don't you
but
just get
can-
those out of the way first?
All right. I just wanted to let anybody know if they're interested in children's consignments. In LaGrange, Gold's Gym is having clothing sale
Oh yeah, I've been to that.
and
yeah, Bee Green,
toys
right?
and books and all kinds of things for children on consignment. It's a consignment shop.
What day is
So
that?
It's called Be Green Kids Consignment, and it started today. and it goes through Saturday.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's right at the Gold's Gym in LaGrange. Gold's
Gold's
Gym, right?
Gym,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they used to give what was left over, people could offer to donate it if they didn't sell it. And they would call me and we'd go pick it up and then we'd give it out to people, like the clothes. It's been, I mean, they started doing other organizations, churches, stuff like that, but very good thing. I mean, they're real cool, great women that run that. It's like they also do it over in, I want to say the Newburgh one too, across the river.
Oh,
but they
yeah.
called me for both. They used to do both of them, but it's going out to some good things. So that's good. Be Green. That starts today until
Starts today till Saturday.
Saturday. So you can
Yep.
get some really good stuff. People mark them down. It's like everything's labeled in there. They have some organization how they do it. You go in there, you can buy anything for children. I'm going to actually go there myself for our daughter. We can go look for a couple things.
They have, walkers, I guess high chairs, all kinds of things that you don't have to throw it in the garbage.
Walkers.
You could just donate it.
Isn't that crazy? A
Walkers.
kid and an adult could
I
have
know
a
I
walker.
took that the way different way than
I was like,
thought
a
it
walker?
was.
Old-fashioned?
I
Do
know,
they
I was
have
like-
Little
walkers?
tennis balls.
Like I feel like I can use a walker today. My butt's hurting from sitting in the car so long.
I have a few.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
A couple of wheelchairs too.
So what else we got? I see a picture here. That looks like Rob Rollison on the
and
pic
your
on the front.
sister.
And
Yeah.
Yvonne. I love Yvonne.
So I saw this and I thought it was a nice thing to share that Poughkeepsie's Children's Cabinet received between $5 and $6 million for PCC, for Poughkeepsie Children's Cabinet, and they support different things for children after school, summer programs, all kinds of things.
That's
I think
awesome.
That's a wonderful thing. Your sister's involved in it. And
Is Community Matters 2 on there by any chance? Because I know that they do a lot of stuff with youth programs, and I hope he would be eligible to get that grant. Legette over there does a lot of great things, summer camps, all that stuff, and they are the fiscal sponsor for John Flowers community events. So thank you very much, Community
Oh,
Matters
that's
too.
awesome. Yeah. Now, this is from the Wallace Foundation initiative. So,
Okay,
it's a good thing to share.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
All
Is
right.
there anything else in there?
Well, I have some, spiritual things that I'd like to share, like or healing.
Why don't you share one?
Just
You-
share
you're
one.
stealing the
then,
whole darn show.
Then we could do it after the show. We'll do it
Yeah,
at the end.
we got it. We got.
All right, so it's either a prayer for the show
Oh, I want to hear the
or
prayer.
a little healing
I want to hear the prayer.
tip.
Let's
Yeah,
listen.
well,
We got
all
to
right,
incorporate
Frank
this
wants
prayer.
the prayer, so that's a good idea.
This
My
is a
dad
great-
used to do something like that.
This is an
on his show.
ecumenical.
This is a really good one for the show.
Ecumenical.
It's an ecumenical. It's an ecumenical prayer, which is all religions.
Ah.
This isn't about
This isn't religious.
Jesus. This isn't about God per se. This is about all spiritual aspects.
It's a
of.
spiritual intention.
And listen to this. This
the
is
show.
actually really good. So I think this is something we can either start with or whatever. Take it away.
All right.
May our minds work together to find mutual understanding. May I see you clearly and be seen in kind. May your words reveal more than they obscure. May our minds, eyes, and tongues be guided by our hearts and the language far older than words.
That pretty much sums up the show.
Amen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a podcast.
That's we're going to change the lyrics to our intro and then we're going to put that in.
I think that's a great intention, that
is.
we meet with our hearts.
Nice.
Whoever.
Yeah.
That
whatever
sounded really
I think
nice.
that's-
actually,
that's attention.
Actually, got a little
That's
like
intention.
nice feeling from that.
Right.
That was good.
Oh,
Thank you
nice.
for
That
that.
was the whole.
Seriously,
hopefully-
like a little.
hopeful
You
people.
ever talk about somebody and get that feeling in your body? You ever get that? I mean, like I really believe in that. So
Right.
that was cool. I like that.
Thank
I
you.
think my dad liked that because
Yeah.
it's usually him when I talk about him. I get it. So Bridget, you got some stuff you want to talk about, right? You had some community news?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
So we have an event that's coming up, John Flowers Community Event.
That's all right.
And Mag Auto are sponsoring a Stuff the Truck event for Thanksgiving to collect donations. Last year, they collected about 1,400 baskets for families. So this year, it's going to be October 25th and 26th at Stop and Shop Supermarket. And there will be trucks there to fill up groceries, anything that you can afford just to put aside for somebody will help us put together a ton of baskets for people. If you want to get on the list to be a part of helping that day or just as the holidays are coming, just make sure you give a call to Paula. Her phone number is 845-546-9271. Yeah, and just give her your name.
Oh, from what time? Paula?
Oh yes, we have. It's from 10 to 2.
From
Sorry,
10 to 2.
It's October 25th.
That's
and
the Stop and Shop on
26th.
44, right?
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're going to have other ones too, but that's just the most recent one. It's the only time slot they can give us. So
Yeah.
we're going to do it 10 to 2. We need volunteers for that. So if you could reach out to Paula
Yeah.
and, last year we had a homeschool group come. It was amazing. Boy Scout troop, and then like a lot of volunteers. You don't have to be a part of an organization. If you just want to show up, all you got to really do is you hand them a little flyer. It shows them what kind of stuff we're looking for. We're stuffing, corn,
Yeah.
potatoes, any kind of Thanksgiving stuff. So they come out and we'll stuff the trucks, and then we bring it. We get a trailer over at Mag, and we load it all up. So it's kind of cool.
It's kind of fun too.
Yeah.
We're out there with donuts and hot chocolate. and-
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a fun day.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's
Mm-hmm.
cool. And then what else? What else? Was there something else?
Yes, this is very exciting. So they have just announced the mayor's ball. Yvonne Flowers, our mayor of Poughkeepsie.
There we go.
She's going to have the mayor's ball. So I have some
Oh, shoot.
information on that. Last year was a great hit.
Oh, it was packed
It
too.
was packed. Everybody was dressed to the nines. The food was amazing.
Oh, it
the
was great.
company was great. The band
The
was
band.
amazing.
We
Yeah.
gotta go.
Oh
Frank.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that was a-
Maybe we
Gotta
can
go.
cover it while we're there. Do
Oh,
a
there
little
you go.
bit of
Yeah,
When
maybe
more
we'll set
seats?
up.
So this
The
this
mayor's
year
ball.
it's going to be April 24th, 6 p.m. You'll buy tickets. It's going towards helping Yvonne build her brand, right?
Okay,
build her campaign
like-
and everything like that.
What she does is all the money she collects from that last year, she had donated to, or she put it out into community events for kids and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just an amazing thing, Like a lot of times people use it for their their campaigns and stuff like that. But the last one she had, because she had just won, I know she had said that she had donated it all to local organizations that were
Yes.
helping out with youth in the area. So we appreciate that. I love her to death. Yvonne's doing a great job at being a mayor.
Yes.
She's got a very tough job. City of Poughkeepsie is very hard.
It is.
We are the place that has the most resources for everything. So they send everybody that has any kind of issue or problem to Poughkeepsie, either by bus, train,
Yeah.
plane.
She's got the character for that job.
I
though.
know. I tell you,
She's sweet and
she's sweet and a hard ass, boy. Let me tell you, she's bit my butt a couple times.
She's amazing. She's got resilience.
It's
Really
awesome.
Great woman.
So was that everything?
Yes,
Yeah, 'cause-
just one quick comment
Okay.
because every time he comes on the show, just saying hello to Michael Mueller.
Oh, Mike Mueller. Thank
yeah,
you, Mike.
we're
Yeah.
happy to have you on the show.
Oh,
and
we love
you
you, Mike.
watching us. So
I
thank
All of you.
Yeah.
And our show
Hey,
is
Mike.
sponsored again by TJ's Pizza, Poughkeepsie 595 Main Street. He's got actually, hey, show him that chicken parm you got over
Oh,
there,
it's
right
so
there. Let's
good.
bring that on the camera.
Want me to go get the pizza pie?
We got, well, we just had a white pizza because Paula loves the white pizza, but that's the chicken parm. We just got
Look
it.
at
And
this.
you can get the seeded bread they have
Oh,
over
so
there.
good.
$5.95
Seeded bread.
Main Street, Poughkeepsie. Really
Is that-
good. You can ask for the seeded or non-seeded bread. And
Is that
then
a foot long? Or 15?
that
Measure
looks,
it.
that's a,
I would say this is.
hey, you shouldn't put it there to measure it.
I think it's about a foot. I think it's about a foot.
So TJ's Pizza, 595 Main Street, great stuff. And then Mag Auto, Route 44, I think it's 695 Dutchess Turnpike, Poughkeepsie. You need a used car, go down to Mag Auto. You tell them that Frankie Flowers sent you. Ask for Poppy. Remember?
Poppy.
Poppy.
My buddy, I'm coming down to see Poppy pretty soon. I gotta try and get myself a car.
That's awesome. Okay, so what we're
I
going to
say
do.
we roll.
Yeah, let's get going. So tonight's show, we're going to be talking about something that relates to a lot of people. We are talking about DSS, Dutchess County Social Services, and CPS, Child Protective Services. We're probably going to be talking about some family court and all that stuff, that all those government agencies that have to do with families and food and help and all those kind of things. And I will say, credit to Sabrina. She had reached out to me. She actually, I believe her position might be running DSS, and she messaged me, and I had offered her to come on the show because I wanted to have both sides. I don't want it to be a attack on DSS or CPS. I want you to understand that. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that are going to be calling in or we're talking to have had issues, and I'd like to honestly try to resolve this. I'd like to get it to where, because there's probably so much that they can do, and it's probably hard for them to explain that to people. So there's probably a little barrier as far as, the human aspect of it. People come in, they might come in and let's say they don't look like they're poor or don't look like things are happening. I mean, I've had somebody one time that said they went in there and they just had their nails done because their neighbor paid for it, and the lady made a comment to her like, "Oh, well, looks like you got your nails done," and
I've had problems like that too.
yeah,
Being
right.
judged that way.
Yeah, yeah, you get judged, and I'll tell a story about that later. But I mean, really, it's got to be. I will give the people down there, and I've had issues myself with talking to some of them. I give them a lot of credit because all you're doing is you're hearing problems from people who are in desperate need all day long, and it's got to be wearing on you. But I will say, it's like if you're going to take a job like that, you have to understand that that's what you're dealing with.
Looks like we have a phone call.
we have a
I hope
phone
it's
call.
not spam.
I know. Yeah, take it. We'll take
it.
that real because I have somebody on the line that's going to be talking to us too.
Hello, this is Frankly Speaking.
Hello, this is a call from.
Oh,
Wait,
Jail.
who was it?
Was that
from?
a jail?
I wanted to play
Why
around
did
with
you
that.
play
person.
that? Oh my God!
I
This is
would
the call
love to
from-
have fight.
that
I
was
love it.
just
This
a
is call-
prank.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce our guest here. Okay, this is. Tell them who you are. She's still there?
Susan?
Susan, you there?
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, my name is Susan.
how are you, Susan? What's up? So let's tell them who you are, really.
Speaking.
And you are frankly speaking today because you're frankly speaking to us. We're trying to set this up. We're going to give it its own mic at some point, but I'm going to hold it near the mic so people can hear what you've got to say. So just tell them who you are briefly, and then explain, what's going on.
Well, I'm Susan, and I have been a part of family court system for 7 years. Yesterday was the date, and dealing with CPS, DSS, and family court, and how much reform needs to happen for our children here in this community. So that's why I'm on.
All right, cool. So, I was looking at some of the stuff that you had sent me, and you had a few experiences that you wanted to share with us about your, I don't want to say like issues or what had happened, and you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I had sole custody of all three of my children, and back in 2018, and unfortunately, after a lot of incidents with the police department and also CPS for preventative CPS to come and help with my older children, the father had went ahead and did a lot of manipulation and an ex parte, which is an order from the judge where no party has to be really involved, and gave temporary physical custody to my ex-husband, the father of my three children, on October 15, 2019, and was allowed to go to Connecticut. And my youngest son was 3 years old at the time, under false allegations. And unfortunately, CPS did fail in that part with preventative, because I had reached out to them a month prior for preventative CPS to assist me, because I was alone here with my three sons. And yeah, it's just been a long fight, where now I do have my little boy who's now 9. We share the same birthday next month. So, it's
So when you say that so with CPS, what is it that they did that is like what did they take, like one word over like somebody made a statement, somebody made a comment, like what made CPS do what they did?
well, what originally happened when I called preventative CPS, which is an awesome program to help families with children
Mm-hmm.
and behavior issues. So at the time, my two older children were 12 and 15. And again, my youngest was 3. And they would have come in and assisted me with their behaviors, maybe through a PINS petition, which is to ensure it's like a probation officer, but not really. To
I've heard of
ensure,
pins. Yep.
Yep. It used to be called Brookhaven.
Mm-hmm.
Now I believe it's called something else in the city of Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
But no one came until the other party called.
And you're talking okay. When you're saying other parties, so when your ex-husband called.
Yes.
Okay, so your ex-husband called, and then they showed up.
And then they showed up, where I was actually really happy, but it wasn't for the preventative parts. And so they took my older boys, my 12 and 15.
And what were the reasons why they took the boys?
They didn't. The CPS did not take them. They just sat in front of the judge and said, she can't handle them and she's a bad mother.
All right, so basically CPS showed up at your house, correct?
Yes.
Okay, they show up at your house, and let's go from there. So they show up at your house, they knock on the door. What happens?
You have a choice. You have a right to allow them in your house or not.
Okay. So did you let them in or no?
Yes, of course I did.
Okay, so you let them in because you were under the intention that you originally called CPS. Right, but they preventative CPS.
Yes.
I don't know the difference of that, but we'll get to that. But so you called them originally, they didn't come. Now that the ex-husband calls and made a complaint or something like that, they show up at your door, they knock on the door, you answer, and you're not surprised, right? Because you had called them originally and you wanted them to come, so you're just like, oh, finally they came, even if it's a week later. They showed up at my house, correct?
Correct. After Mobile Crisis has been here, and also the police department many times to help my sons minimize their behaviors.
Okay, so how old are the sons?
They were at the time 12 and 15.
Okay, so what is it? Were they having behavioral issues? Were they getting in trouble a lot?
Yes.
Okay, so now when you're saying in trouble, were they getting in trouble with the law or in school?
No.
What were they getting in trouble with?
Me.
Abusing you. Okay.
Yes.
So that's why. Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yes.
I was a little confused.
Right.
Okay. So
the father only had one night a week.
Okay.
Friday to Saturday. And
so your kids were abusing you, and that's why you called CPS. So why did the father call CPS then? What was the reasoning for him to call CPS? Because of that? Because he was worried about you? Or because he was worried about the children?
No, because my disciplinary of me taking their cell phones away when they're not behaving. Okay. And, monitoring and saying, being a parent that doesn't use corporal punishment, never had to, because I left
You have somebody on
the state of Connecticut when my youngest son was 6 months old.
Okay.
Not having a place to stay.
I got you.
And that was in 2016. So in 2018 is when I bought a house on my own with my three sons. So, and the fact that my feeling is he was jealous and.
All right, I just want to get I get that part. I just want to kind of get to the CPS part and the DSS. Regardless, and I understand it's personal and it's emotional and there's a lot of things going back and forth. But I want to kind of get to just the CPS encounter, not where your like relationship is. Is that okay? So the question. Yeah. So because this way we can move it along and keep going. So CPS shows up at the house, right? Are you under the impression that they're there because of what you said or you knew that he called?
Well, the night prior, someone called, and it was actually the person that did my intake for the preventative CPS the month prior. And then they weren't coming to the house, and they were having preventative come this morning.
All right, we're already at the house, though. All right, so I want to get to that.
Yes,
so they show up at the house. They knock on the door, and say what? What did they say to you?
We have a report. I said, I'm aware of that, but aren't you preventative? And they said, no. I said, okay, well, I only had two of my children here at the time. My oldest wasn't here. He was at football. And can we come in? Can we talk? No, I only had my middle one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And they came in and they spoke and they saw all the marks on my body.
Okay.
And They read me what the person who called CPS,
Okay, which was who?
which they couldn't tell me.
Okay. So I thought you said they read it.
Yeah, they read what the call was.
Oh, what the call said. Okay, not who said
yeah,
it. Okay.
the transcript.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they read to you what it
And-
called, and then what happens after that?
Then they spoke to the one child that was here.
Which
My
is
middle
the
one.
he's 11 or
12.
12 at the time. Okay.
He was 12. Yes, he was. Yeah. Yes,
Did
he's
did they
experienced
speak
a
to
lot
him
of-
privately or in front of you?
Yes,
What? Yes
they
to
spoke
what?
to him
Privately or in
privately.
front of you?
privately.
Okay, privately. They pulled him in another room and spoke to him by himself.
Correct. I stepped away.
And did you have to agree to that?
Yes.
Okay. And you were comfortable with that.
Yes, because I needed help. I needed.
I understand. Okay. See, I'm a little confused because when I hear CPS, I think it's Child Protective Services, and this sounds like we need Adult Protective Services, like for a child, correct?
Yes,
I mean,
APS.
because
yes,
this is a
APS.
little bit different than what I thought was where we were headed. All right. So now after that, so now you go to court, right? So they leave, and then what? They give you a court date then, or what happens?
No. Then another CPS worker came that evening because the other two children weren't here, and needed to, because within 24 hours they need to put eyes on the child.
Yeah,
Once a
but these
report comes.
these children are assaulting you, right? I'm
Yes.
confused here. What's going
Yes,
on?
yes. And
Okay.
many officers were here
Okay.
many times. Wonderful police department
Okay.
saying, yeah, they were wonderful.
So they took your children away to protect you?
No,
No.
CPS believed my two older sons.
Right.
Of their
About-
statement.
Oh, okay. So what was
Right.
in their statements? What did
Right.
your two older
Yeah,
sons say?
that'll clear this
That's
up.
what that's what's going to make
I
this
think
make
there's
sense.
a little.
That I was abusive.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
I was an alcoholic, drug user, and did not even look at any of the police reports that were when the police would come. I'm telling you, every weekend.
Now we're starting to
At
get
least
the
twice a
picture.
day.
Okay.
Yes.
So really what
They
happens is
clear.
CPS talks to them and now they turn it into a child protective case because now if they're called and you're telling them you're getting abused and then they talk to the kids
Right.
and the kids say, "Oh no, mom is abusing us." Now they're like, "Oh, okay, we got to fix this problem."
And how did the police actually end up at the house? That's my question. Was it who made the phone call
I
at that point?
called multiple crisis.
Okay. So you were the one
I
making the
went to
calls,
house.
but then the kids would give a different
Absolutely.
story. The kids would give a different story at that point.
No, they shut up. They
Okay,
literally was very mute when the police would come.
got it.
And yes, but the father would then manipulate them for that 26 hours of allowed visitation.
So when your police
make
showed up
them-
and you told them that your son was assaulting you, he's 16 at the time.
14.
15 and 12.
Oh,
yep,
15, 12.
And they knew.
So
Yep.
they can't really take them away, right? Because they're children, right? I mean, did they ever take them away or bring them down
No.
to the station?
No.
Did they talk
They
to
were
them
really
privately?
good. Yes, they did.
Okay.
They were really good. They were wonderful.
What police
officers
department was this?
dating. East Fishkill.
East Fishkill. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they were awesome, wonderful. They would sit there and say, look, we want to see you play football. We don't want to have to come back when you're older and have to arrest you for some crime.
That's good. Yeah,
We
that's
want-
good.
They were very positive
All
role
right.
models.
Sorry. So let's speed it up a little bit. So now, okay, they leave, and then you end up with a court date. I take it, right?
Right, so they leave. When I tell you multiple times they were here, but then when CPS, the maybe like fifth or sixth time they came here, they were all on my side. Then all of a sudden, the father took the two older ones a few days prior than the 15th of October because I needed peace with my little guy, who was 3 at the time, and the officer said, "Do you want me to arrest him because there was an order of protection in place because he was here and he lives in Connecticut, or do you want the 2 older boys to go for the night and you and Jax, my little guy, have some peace?" And I chose the peace.
Okay. All right. So now, okay. So the father leaves with the
That's
kids.
when he went to
Okay.
court.
So let's
That's when
move
he went to
ahead.
court and
Okay.
talked with that.
Okay. So we're past that now. So now you go to court. What happens in court? You show up. Is the father there in court?
Yes. And
Okay.
so is the CPS worker.
The CPS worker and the 2 older boys.
Correct.
Okay.
No, the boys were not allowed. They're not allowed in family court.
Okay. So now what happens in court? What are they in court for? To do what? To see about taking away the children, or to see about what?
Right. To temporarily keep them in the father's care, who was recently in the psych ward at St. Francis at the time, because of what the children were saying, the 2 older ones.
Wait, hold on. What the kids said is what put them.
The 2.
Your kids said put the father in the psych ward.
No. He has issues
Oh.
prior to that. So.
All right.
That's
All
why
right.
I
So
had
psych
to
ward
go
where?
to
At where are you talking about? At Mid Hudson Regional?
Yeah, it used to be St. Francis. So
Okay.
prior to that, early in 2018, I had full custody of the children.
All right. We're just jumping around a little bit. So I'm just trying to keep a steady
Okay.
flow of like where we're going. Okay. So we're in the courtroom. All right. The father's there. You're there, and CPS worker. What happens?
The AFC.
What is the
attorney
AFC?
For the child.
Okay.
Attorney for the child quickly changed positions because he was standing next to the CPS worker, and I guess spoke to the older boys and listened to whatever they said and believed it, and the judge granted.
Okay. Hold on. All
temporary.
right. So we're skipping here. So you said the AFC guy, he believed what that the boys said that you were the problem, not them.
Yes.
Okay, so now the judge is.
Less than a year ago.
So you're bamboozled, right? You're in court, and all of a sudden you're thinking that you like the kids are the problem. They're beating you, and then the judge, these guys, CPS and this AFC worker says to the judge, "Your Honor, this woman
He's a
is
lawyer.
what?"
AFCs are lawyers. The AFCs are lawyers.
Okay, so but they're
Guardian ad litem.
I understand. Okay, so what they're saying is that you're the one abusing the children.
Plot twist.
Correct.
Okay, so then what happens after that?
The judge still kept them away.
To where? To the father?
Yep, in the state of Connecticut, where he was a transient. Yeah.
You got a question for
I
me?
just yeah. So the AFCs. What kind of information did they divulge that led them to their decision to flip the switch and then go the opposite direction with you? What do you think it was?
Without being personal
Mhm.
of it, regarding that attorney, he just listened to the kids.
Mm-hmm. So you're
No one
basically
answered
saying
him.
is like,
Anyone else?
yeah, like hey, here it is. You are making a complaint, and what you're saying is they don't care about what you're saying. They're listening to these children who are easily influenced and can easily lie and say a lot of different things. And I'm not saying that all children lie, but it's much easier for a child to just tell a story, right? I mean, to make themselves, because they don't want to get in trouble, especially in a scary place, right? Like in a courtroom. And I'm not by any means saying that the kids are lying or you're lying. I'm just saying it's like I can understand what you're trying to tell me, that it's like here you went in thinking that, so you wanted the kids taken away anyway though, right?
No.
Oh, you wanted to keep.
I had therapy.
Oh,
I
okay.
had everything in place.
All right. So you had put them in therapy already. This was to help them with.
They were already, yes, because of the domestic
And was it
violence that I
helping?
endured.
Was the therapy helping?
To a point, yes. But
Did the
when-
abuse stop on you? How's that?
The abuse only started 2 months before it was taken.
Mm.
Before they were.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
And when you're saying abuse, now were they like? Can you be a little bit more?
Physically and verbally,
Phys-
and
Okay.
demoing my house.
Oh, okay.
One punched my dog, who was my rock for the years that I was fighting, and she sadly passed.
Mhm.
Yes, and also abused my younger son. My middle one abused my younger son.
Well, I'm sorry.
It was everywhere in my house.
I'm sorry to hear that. So,
Yeah.
so what are you saying? What are some of the let's see, you said, what are some of the biggest biases you felt within the system?
They only believe the children and the person who made the complaint.
Okay.
Where they needed, and as their protocol is to, because you fill out a form of family members, friends, neighbors, school, everything, and they need to interview them.
So you're saying whoever calls and makes the complaint, they just take their word for it and go from there. They don't go in open-minded. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. They're very closed-minded, where they take what the child says, and which is sad.
So you were just talking about the protocol. They didn't contact any of those people?
They did not. They indicated me. They accused me of drug and alcohol abuse and inadequate guardianship. I went pro se with the state, and then they said, yes, no, you're not drug and alcohol, but you're still inadequate guardianship. So I'm fighting an Article 78 with the appellate court, where I have sole legal custody of this little boy.
How do they describe inadequate?
I'm sorry?
How do they describe inadequate?
Exactly. It's like cutting up the baby in half. How do you say, oh, she's not guilty of drug and alcohol abuse, but yet she's still an adequate guardian, but yet I have sole legal custody of this child now?
All right, so
The
what?
other one's aged out. So
I think you almost answered this one with what message do you want other parents in similar situations to hear about this? I mean, basically, you're trying to tell them is like,
Yeah, what can be done?
what can be done, and then
I mean, how would you do it over? Would you do it differently over, or would you go in with more firepower
like
legally?
another
or
attorney, or
how would you handle that?
no, I had a court-appointed attorney. He had a public defender. And let me just state this. The public defender originally, back into when I gained custody, was the public defender fighting with my ex-husband.
I don't know what you're saying.
She was there. She still was fighting.
All right. I just got confused in that last statement. So you said he had a court appointed.
No, I have the court appointed.
Okay, and he had a public
I'm
defender.
a part of Grace Smith House, so because of DV.
Okay.
And he had a public defender.
Okay, and you had court appointed.
The public defender was there after CPS.
Was there where?
Was back in the courtroom on October 15, 2019, fighting hard to protect her clients.
I understand. All right, so what are you hoping that your story inspires the listeners of our podcast to do, like in other policymakers and other families?
I hope, so CPS, they don't, well, from my experience, are not following protocol. Interview everyone that's a part of the family. Because children, lying is a learned behavior. It's not natural. And look at the bigger picture, because they have to close a case within 30 days, which is ridiculous. But also the court needs to understand time is of the essence with children in their developmental stages.
So you just said something that stuck out to me. The 30 days. So once
30 days.
CPS opens up a case, they have to close it within 30 days?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And
What?
I never got all of the documentation. It was never sent to Albany of the pictures of my marks and the bruises. Half of the documentation was missing. And then it came to light after I appealed. But the family court and CPS needs to really investigate further, not just the school. And I saw one of the comments that they go to the school because they go to the school. And I tell you, faculty staffs are fearful. So they don't say nothing out of their lane.
Mhm.
What do you think
And
they're fearful about?
repercussions if they don't follow to protect the child.
Yeah.
Whereas CPS was called by the school recently, 2 years ago, with my little guy,
Mhm.
and against the father, and he was unfounded. So it makes no sense.
You have another caller in there. Well, Susan, I want to thank you for your time and appreciate you calling in. And I really I appreciate you sharing that story with us.
Yeah, it takes a lot to come on
it does.
and share some very personal things, and I wouldn't want to be in that position. And thank you very much. Awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely appreciate it. And I'm sure you, what's that?
And parental alienation is real.
Parental what? Alienation.
And
Yeah, I'm going through
parental
some of that
alienation
myself
is
right now. I
very-
definitely understand that.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
Yes, I know.
it's
So yes,
yeah.
child safety has to come first.
And
That little boy that I have custody sole
Mhm.
should not have left that day 7 years ago yesterday.
So I do believe, honestly, that these organizations like CPS was originated with good intentions, right? Like most things are.
Mhm.
They had intention. They probably had a couple bad cases where some kids were abused, and they said, you know what, we need to have some people to like stand up for these children because they're too young to speak for themselves. But what happens is it's like anything, right? So like I'd say I almost want to compare it to like speeding tickets, right? You get a bunch of people speeding, they give them tickets. Now all of a sudden, people stop speeding. They're not going 60 in a 45. Now they're going 50 or they're going, 47. They're like, oh, we're not getting any tickets. But now they built up all this revenue and all this stuff. We're constantly getting it. So we gotta figure it out, like how to make this keep moving. So now if they gotta, it's out. And I don't want to say that they fabricate things, but I'm saying is like maybe they might look into things a little bit differently or not
They don't have
just.
time.
Yeah. And the time
too much
thing,
of a
I don't like
case
that. What you said to me, the 30 days, because sometimes things take 30 minutes and sometimes things take a year. So I'm like, I don't like that. So maybe that's something that, Sabrina's probably going to be listening to this later. So maybe that's something that, might ring a bug in her ear. So I appreciate that comment, but I'm going to let you go because we have another caller, and I really appreciate you calling in, and I hope you listen to the rest of our show. Okay.
Oh, I'm right here. Yeah, I just one thing. I just really hope that there is another avenue to help CPS and family court judges to help our children.
I appreciate that.
Well, maybe your story will bring light to it,
Exactly.
and
maybe
people
it
will
will.
respond and maybe send letters or vote a certain way.
Yeah, because I'm still objective. I help fathers, mothers. It's all about our children, as Whitney Houston would say. They're our future.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So thank you.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
I hope you have a great night.
You too.
All right. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Hi, Susan.
All right. So, Bridget, you got somebody on there?
Yes. So we have Caressa here. Can you hear us, Caressa?
Yes, I can. Hi, Frankie. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi,
I'm gonna
Carissa.
pass you over to Frankie now, and he's go ahead and share your story with us.
Frankie's very familiar with my daughter, Haley. Haley actually used to work with Frankie. A long time ago, I had a case with my daughter that came up. I was a 15-year-old mom, and I had just had her. She ended up having problems with her feet, and she went to daycare, and she had bruises on her legs, like her inner legs going up her thighs, because her feet were starting to turn in. And I was going to school. I was struggling. My parents were, it was a whole big thing. And my parents were struggling with a divorce. They weren't really getting along very well. And I had a lot of siblings. And, here I am, a teen mom, just coming into having a baby. And my mom was struggling as it was. And my parents ran a business. And the house went into foreclosure. And one day I was at school. We got a phone call. I used to go to Millbrook High School, and we got a phone call that CPS had been called to the daycare due to the bruises on Haley's legs. Now, I was working with Aster at the time, since she was really little, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was a very young mom, 15 years old, almost 16, and I was just going through it. So I ended up in different places, but we ended up getting called over to Troop K. My dad, my mom, me, and Haley's dad, Anthony, and Haley. So they asked the story of what was going on, and it was all this back and forth between my mom, my dad, and my mom would go up in really loud pitches of talking, and then my dad would interrupt her, and I just felt like I was shutting down. The first thing that came to light with CPS was, "Oh, you look overwhelmed." I was like, "I am." I didn't have anybody like standing there like beside me advocating for me at that point in time. My parents were arguing. My brothers were at home with my other little brothers, and I was just sitting there with a cop and CPS worker. And I know the CPS worker's name. She's probably a supervisor now, but this was back in 2006. But it's all spiraled from the reason why Haley is the way she is today. And they asked me what had happened. So, Haley was at this walking stage, and, she was walking. She was, like I said, Haley had tripped and fell a lot. And, they went and did stories, and, how they do their investigation. They went over to the babysitter, the babysitter's worker. They did, and they took stories out from there, and, they couldn't figure it out. So at that point in time, that's when we were brought into Troop K after all that had happened. So sorry if I'm jumping all over the place.
That's all right. I get it. You got a lot going through your mind, and it just take your time.
It brings up,
Yeah.
right. So it brings up a lot. So like I said, my parents were arguing. Heather Stickle was the CPS worker at that point in time, and I don't remember the detective's name and the Troop K, whoever was there doing it, but they offered me to give up custody of Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Because
CPS offered that.
Right. So they offered a paperwork. I forgot what it was called. I think it was like temporary guardianship.
And who would get the guardianship? With a family member?
CPS would get the guardianship because
State.
This is the
The
story.
state?
I didn't have anybody to just give her to at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have anybody to just give it to her at the time. So.
And you were 15?
I was 15. Yes, I was 14 when I got pregnant. 15 when I had her. I didn't have the support I needed as a teen mom. Go ahead.
I got you. No, so what happened? So they offered that, and then what'd you do?
Well, I knew I was overwhelmed. I felt like flustered because my parents weren't. I wasn't getting any help with my daughter. My mom tried as hard as she could. My dad and her were constantly going to counseling. So I said, okay. So if it's only temporarily until we can find something better and I can work on myself, because I needed the relief.
Yeah. And you're thinking you're doing what's best for you and your child, right?
Right. So I sign her over. They persuaded me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, that happens. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, okay, so can I take her home with me? I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have my parents there to say, oh, yeah, don't stop, don't do it. And I can't remember. It was at that point in time. So I had to put her in the car, and it was one of the worst nights of my life. I felt like I was coerced into something that I didn't know what I was doing. I was 15.
Because you're 15.
I didn't have my parents there. Right.
Yeah.
There's
right.
no
So
way you know.
Like
what
you're a
to
child
do.
yourself, to be honest with you, at
Yeah.
15.
Right.
No doubt.
I mean, the last story we just had, we were talking about a 15-year-old boy. So.
Yeah. So imagine him having a kid. Yes. So it's to this point where now This one, and I'm going to tell you flat out, it went on for 6 years, on and off.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a big story. But at this point, I'm going to tell you. So, I ended up getting Christopher Logan as a, what do they call it? Preventative worker.
Okay.
And he was amazing. Good guy. But at this point in time, we went to court. Judge Amodio had taken permanent custody, gave it to CPS. So I was like, wait, I had to go to court, again. And then I was getting appointed a different judge, which is Judge Foreman at that point in time, which was back in 2006, 2007. And we sat in his courtroom, I want to tell you, for a good 2 years straight before we can get anything done with Haley. And it was just back and forth. And finally, my mom got custody of her. So I went back. We had the house. My parents ended up getting a divorce. My dad went and did whatever he is. Anyways.
Just hold on one sec. When you're saying for 2 years, so where was Haley staying during that 2 years?
Haley was in foster care.
So another family's home or in like the...
Right, correct.
Okay, so...
Correct. And I did visitation with her. So I showed up to every visitation. They did drug tests on me. I didn't even do any drugs. I literally...
CPS did drug tests on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did drug tests on me, so I passed with flying colors, but they had no reason to do that because, Frankie, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't...
I know, I remember. I remember you, yeah.
So this comes down to the next part of they want to put me on probation.
They want to put you on probation?
They did put me on probation, but I was on it for 3 years for
So were you arrested or anything like that in this time?
I was arrested, yes.
For what?
So and it was a misdemeanor. I believe it was endangering the welfare of a child.
Oh, which is a charge by CPS.
So they handed it over to the district attorney's office. They put me on probation, but I never got in trouble.
So hold on. So let me get this right. So the reason you're arrested is because you call or CPS comes and you turn your child over to CPS thinking at 15 years old.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. No, so what you were going to say? They tried
to get me with neglect and abuse because of my daughter's legs.
Oh, right.
Oh, because of the feet. Yeah. Okay.
And they arrested you for that.
I went to children's medical group with her, and her foot turned in. Haley always had that foot that turned in.
Yeah.
And then you're never gonna believe this. So now we're on round 2 of them taking her away. She was taken away around 10 months old. And then they had her till she was 2 years old. And I went to parenting classes. I did everything that they asked me of, anger management classes. I stayed on probation for 3 years. I got a YO status, which is a youth offender status. And then I ended up getting off that. I went to Job Corps, got everything completed up. And we went back to court during that time because my friend's mother, which she's a wonderful person, Mary Tresigny, had taken custody of Haley after my mom had lost custody because they said that my mom medically and educationally neglected me and my brothers. And there was an oil spill. And because Haley got bruises again from falling, we had Lance Bigsby from Preventative Care Services come out, and he would have to constantly check Haley's body. And he would make my mom take off Haley's. I'm sorry for going on live and saying
no,
this,
it's okay. No, I want to talk raw.
He would make my mom and I take off Haley's clothes because I lived with them at the time. But
a man. This was a man, right?
Correct.
And how old was Haley?
That has a crackly voice. Yeah, he has.
How old was Haley?
Haley was a baby. She was probably about a year and a half, 2 years, almost. Year and a half, yeah. So she was a year and a half at that point in time. So.
And she was walking.
Yeah, she was walking.
Yeah.
Yep. And she struggled. So, Astor Services was always there up until a year old. At that point, I don't remember what my mom did. It was a blur.
Just sorry to cut you off, but did they ever do a test or have a doctor's evaluation of her walking? Was anything like that ever done?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I'm just saying because I mean, if you're saying that she has some kind of
they
thing
were
with her,
trying to accuse me of hitting her on her legs and making her fall and pushing her, and this is the judge said this was all smoking mirrors. Yeah, CPS said that.
So what did Astor do for her?
Astor basically, they were there from birth to 1. Astor just did evaluations on her, and yeah, she had a leg. her foot turned in.
So they knew
Um,
about the bruises caused by her.
Right. So that foot turning in constantly, and she's a kid. She's 1.5. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? At this point in time. So what really rang to me is why she was fishy. Is why they came in and said to my mom that that other stuff was going on, and like why they took her, because my brothers got, for me and my brothers, saying that we got medical and educational neglect when there was no proven thing, because my mom had a case with CPS too when they wanted to keep spiking out. So I could really go on about Haley, and the reason why we all had this in the first place was
Did you
her
put
father.
the phone number in there in the comments?
Yes, sorry.
All right, no, I'm sorry. I'm just trying.
No,
Just so
okay.
I just want to
Did
keep
you
our
pin-
phone number out there.
Did you
It's
pin the number?
845
Put it, but it's not
Yep.
pinned.
505 1238 if anybody wants to call in. 845 505 1238. We got a new phone line, and that's going to
Can
be
I
on
pin it?
all the
Yes,
time.
yeah.
505 what did I just say it was?
1238.
505 1238.
Yeah, 1238. I remember when I heard that number. I said, "Oh, that's good. 1238."
We'll
yeah,
have the other thing next week.
yeah.
Don't you worry.
We were supposed to have a border with
We got a
the
son
new-
out there that's running a little, but he did already.
He did
the
great.
intro.
He
Have
did
somebody
great.
pin it.
Yeah.
Have somebody pin it.
Yeah, we'll
We're
have
pinning
somebody
it.
pin
We're
it.
pinning it.
But all right, so basically what you're
How do I
telling
pin?
what the bottom line is what you're telling me is CPS came and coerced you, right?
Yes, they did.
And
Yes,
and
they
basically
did it
put you in a
coerced me,
and then
saying that's
ran you
what's
through
best
the
for me.
ringer. Give me 1 second here. We got a call real quick. Hang on 1 second. All right.
Hit send
Hello?
and then check the comment.
Hi, it's Diana.
Hey Diana, give me 1 second, okay?
Now you see pin.
Okay.
Got it. That goes at the top.
I think so.
Oh, hold on. We got another call. Hold on. They're coming in now.
Woo! They got our number.
Oh shit. I gotta
All right, hold up. We got to have a 5-line system here.
answer call, and I gotta
Ah,
answer.
man.
Oh, okay, I gotta hang up on somebody. Hello. Oh gosh, I got all these things on hold now. I don't know who you're.
Frankie's
Hello?
all ticked off at everybody else, but
You still there?
Go on there. Yeah.
Oh, I just hung up on the other girl by accident, but I'm sure. Hey, if she can, I just want to have you call back. I just hung up on you by
Who,
accident.
Carissa? Oh, Diana.
Carissa, yeah. And
Okay.
then somebody else tried to call. You could try to call again.
well,
Actually,
who do you got on the phone now?
this is who is this again?
Diana Johnson.
Oh, hey, Diana Johnson. How you doing?
Oh, hey,
She's known me
Diana.
a long
I've
time.
been seeing you out there.
What's
You were 7.
since I was a little kid in Heritage Gardens back in the day.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she knew my mother very well too.
Heritage Garden.
So what's going on, Diana?
So I wanted to give you my version of CPS and foster care, what happened to me. It's kind of quick and easy.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so I had my 2 nieces and nephews, my ex-husband's, biological nieces and nephews. They were given to me by CPS through foster care in Ulster County. They came to live with me in Poughkeepsie, and it switched over to Dutchess County. Now, in the court documents, it clearly stated that the children could not go home for an unsupervised visit with the parents until the parents had 6 months clean, because they were crack addicted.
Okay.
So in September, the parents both got arrested for drugs, for crack.
Mhm.
So that was September. In November, I went to the kids' meeting. It was a 6-month meeting with foster care. I go to the meeting. At the very end of the meeting, when we all leave the room, the CPS supervisor tells me that the kids are going home for an unsupervised visit over the 4-day weekend with their parents for Thanksgiving weekend.
And this is 2 months after they just tested positive for crack.
Correct.
Okay.
And the judge said they got to be 6 months clean for unsupervised visit.
And here you are.
So
You're
I-
not the mother. You're not even their biological aunt. You are like a step aunt, right?
Correct.
Helping, just trying to help. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So So I told the CPS supervisor, I said, over my dead body. And he said, I'm sorry, you have to give the parents a chance. They have to go home sometime. So when I left the meeting, left the building, the next day I called. I don't remember how I got the phone number for the actual DSS attorneys, but I got a phone number and I called and left a message. Friday of that same week, the attorney called me. And I said to him, I said, listen, I'm going to sue the pants off of you guys. I'm going to own you and the building you're sitting in. If I have to go to court and fight this, because in your CPS and foster care is violating a court order. They're going to be in direct violation of the court order, where the judge said no unsupervised visits
Right.
unless the parents are clean for 6 months.
Right. How can they do that?
And whose fault was it?
They were going to do it. So the guy says, I'll look into it. And it was like 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. And then he hung up. So that Monday, the kids were going for their supervised visit at Dutchess County, the DSS building there, 61 Market Street.
Mm-hmm.
And the caseworker, can I say names?
Yeah, that's
No.
probably not right now.
There's no difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the caseworker came outside to get the kids to bring them upstairs for their unsupervised visit. And she was really, really mad, very angry with me. And the first thing she said to me in front of the kids that didn't even know a visit was planned, she says to me, I just want to let you know the kids aren't going home for Thanksgiving. And I
Talking about going home with you? Not going home with you?
With the parents for the unsupervised visit.
Right.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
She was mad though. She was steaming mad that
Oh.
the kids were not going home.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the side of the parents.
Correct. To the crackhead,
Yeah.
not clean
Right.
parents.
Right.
So the CPS worker is upset because the kids aren't going home with the parents who are tested positive for drugs after the judge said that you couldn't they couldn't go back with
Right.
them
It was
for 6
court
months.
order.
Oh yeah, court order.
Correct.
It's insanity.
They had to be clean for 6 months. So she was very angry because, and this is what really the issue was.
Okay.
Those workers, their caseloads are so
Right.
heavy that they try
we
to
go.
get rid of every file on their desk.
That's
as
where
fast as they
that
can.
30-day thing that
Right.
that lady said. That's where I think there's gonna. I'm hoping that is something that rings a bell to somebody down there at CPS. But no, I definitely appreciate that. Give me one just before we finish. I just want to. So the number is going to be 845-505, right? 1238. If anybody else wants to call in, and then we're going to try to get one or two more calls in real quick. But go ahead, Diane. I'm sorry.
Just let me quickly give you the outcome of the whole thing.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So the kids did not go home for Thanksgiving, but their intentions were, if the kids went home for Thanksgiving, everything went well, they shut their eyes, they didn't see nothing, then they could clearly hurry up and send the kids home permanently.
Diane, 1 sec. Just let me put them on hold. 1 second.
Go ahead.
Is this
Frankly speaking, hello.
Teresa?
Hello, Frankie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is this?
I'm calling Amy.
Oh.
Okay. About what was this about?
It was about the call. You guys are on the topic of CPS.
Yeah, CPS. Perfect. Yeah. Could you just hang on 1 second? Let me just finish with her and I'll click over to you.
All right, no problem.
Okay. Hey, I'm good. I got her. I just put her on hold. Okay, so let's hear the outcome.
The outcome is they gave me no more information. They did not invite me to the next meeting. they kept everything hush hush, and in June they let me know, like 2 days in advance, that the kids were going home permanently in June.
And
So
these parents were still testing positive.
yes, crackheads, severe crackheads.
Now I could tell you
severe.
personally. I know who this woman is. I was 7, like she said. She met me when I was 7. She knew my mother, and my mother had a pretty good drinking problem. It's where we had moved around and whatnot. But I remember you as being a always being by. I mean, you might even babysit me sometimes. But you were like our neighbor. Always a very nice woman. Next door neighbor, yeah. You sold insurance for a while,
my
right?
best friend, yep.
Yeah. I was a kid, so I don't really understand all of that. But I mean, I've known you for quite some time, and I've always known you to be a real solid, good person, and I can't see
thank you.
how they would want to take some kids out of that household to put them in a household with parents. That's part of the that's part of that's a big problem I have.
They want to get rid of the files on their desk. They're overworked and overloaded.
And that's a problem.
But
Because that's why they're put there. You know,
they ended up sending the kids home, and within a year, the kids were back in foster care and being given up for adoption. The parents lost all their parental rights, and the parents had sold the 2 girls, aged 5 years old and 4 years old, for crack to men, grown men.
Oh my God.
And my niece, she will tell you with her own mouth everything that happened to her, and it's sad and sick.
Well, I'm very sorry. That's a very sad story.
And you never got them back?
No, because by then my husband and I had split up, and I had begged him, just come and sleep on my living room couch until I can get the kids, because I wanted them. And he refused. He said, I have a family of my own now. So I was like, adios, mother, water.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But they're all doing well now, but they CPS and foster care, they're just not to be trusted. And you really have to be on top of everything, and you have to do your due diligence when it comes to what they're going to do.
Great word.
You have to be very involved. You got to read the court papers to know exactly what is and isn't allowed, what the judge said is supposed to happen, because it's not going to, it's going to conflict with what CPS and foster care say, obviously.
Yeah.
I would love to speak to somebody who worked in that field, who's no longer there, to see what the real story is behind the scenes,
Well, I can give you a name, but we can do that privately.
Privately.
Yeah. Just because I really like, when we first talked about doing this show today, I mean, a lot of us, including myself, have had bad experiences. I think you have too as well, Frank, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, we've had some bad experiences with CPS, which I honestly, I think I want to share mine. I'm not sure if you want to share yours too, Frank, but I just want to say thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate that. And this is what we're talking about. We want to get real stories from real people. And I know you're definitely a real person, and I appreciate you, because I always think that, like, you always hear those things where it takes a village to raise someone, and you were part of my village, and I appreciate you, and you're part of the reason why I am where I am today. So thank you very much, and keep being the greatest woman, one of the greatest women in my life. How's that?
Thank you.
I got the greatest woman in my life right now next to me, so I got to.
She's a sweetheart. That girl is
Oh, thank you.
I love her. I don't even know. I love your wife. I don't even know her.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, we definitely got
Thank you.
We got to introduce you to her, because she's a amazing woman. She tolerates me, and that takes a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna bring.
I'm gonna.
We'll let you go. Okay.
I'm gonna messenger you that name.
All right, I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. You want someone to say something, Frank, or no?
Oh, I just wanted. No, we're good. Enjoy.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
I just wanted to say I saw that Kimberly
Hello?
Herxthal says, and the children are the ones that suffer. It's like every time the back and forth and the back and forth, and then it's almost like chattel, which is goods, and they become damaged goods. So
Yeah, one of those coconut waters, if you don't mind.
coconut,
I'm like so thirsty. Thank you.
Mr. Parched,
I know I'm
it's
parched.
been going.
So I got somebody else on the phone. Let's tell them who you are.
Hello?
Hello, you there? Yeah. Who are we talking to?
Talking to Amy.
Amy, how are you, Amy?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing, Frankie?
Oh, I'm doing all right. So I know I already can tell in your voice you got a story to tell us.
Yes. I dealt with I had CPS in my life, and CPS with my situation was very difficult. Um they actually they made me decide between my son and my daughter.
Okay, so how did they do that?
Because I had my son. He was just 2 months old, and there was a report that came in on me stating that I didn't have the proper stuff for him, that I wasn't ready to be a mother.
Okay, so you said a report came in. Who did the report
Yeah, who?
come
That's
from?
that's exactly.
They wouldn't tell me who the report came from. They said it came in anonymously.
So CPS got a report, right? An
Yeah.
anonymous report from someone. They show up at your house.
Yeah.
Okay, so they knock on the door, and tell me what happens after they knock on the door. Do they tell you who they are?
Yes, he knocked on the door. He told me who he was. He said that he had to talk to me. That there was a report that came in.
Okay, but he
So
wouldn't tell you who. Did he say what the report was about?
he said the report was about me not being able to fully function having my son.
And how old was your son?
My son was only 3 months old.
Mm. And was that your only child or no?
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one child that I have right there, and then I had my daughter a year later.
Okay, so you got two kids about a year and almost a year and a half apart, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
They came in, and he told me that I had to call either my mother or a family member to come in to sit there and take care of my son, because they said that they didn't feel I was fit to take care of him.
And why did they say you weren't fit?
They just turned around and looked at the state that I was in, because I was actually surprised that they showed up.
When you're saying state, were you in your pajamas? Were you like drunk, high?
I actually was trying to put my son down to go to sleep.
Okay, what time of the day was this?
This was at nighttime. This was around 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
All right, were you dressed when they came to the door?
Yeah, I was dressed and everything.
Your hair all done? I mean, your makeup on?
Everything was done. I was dressed and all that. I was awake. I was conscious. Everything.
So,
and when I was talking with him, he actually said that I had to hand over my son to him because he didn't like how I was holding my son.
He didn't like how you were and how were you holding your son?
I was holding my son in my arms.
And he didn't like how you were holding him? I mean, was he like?
No.
Were you holding him by his neck, or?
He didn't like how I was holding.
How were your whole? If you were to describe how was your arm around his waist? Was it around his chest area?
No, he was right over. I had him right on my shoulder because I was sitting there tapping him on his.
Oh, so you had him leaning on his shoulder, kind of like leaning with his head up by your head. And he said he didn't like how you were. Where was your hand? Was it on his bottom, on his back?
I had my one hand underneath his butt, and then I had the other hand securing his neck where he wasn't going to sit there and fall.
Seems like a standard way to hold a child.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he said he doesn't like how you're holding the child, and he wants to take the child out of your hands.
Yeah.
Are you in the house or out of the house at this time?
I'm in the house. I'm in the house.
And you allowed him in?
Yes,
Okay.
because he told me that if I didn't allow him in, that the cops would be called and everything for me not allowing him to come in.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop you right there because that's something I want to definitely address to people. That I don't know if you want to quote me on this, but I don't believe that you have to let anyone in your home. I mean, the police can't even come in your home without a search warrant.
Right.
So if someone shows up to your door, I don't care what kind of credentials they're showing you and say, if they have to ask you to come in, you do not have to let you in. If they can kick down your door or have like a battle ram, then it's probably a different story. But just so, I mean, I just want the listeners to know that, because what it is they use, a lot of people use intimidation tactics, and
Right.
including police officers. And I get it, it's in their job, and I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing it, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a better evaluation of a situation. So they're trying to get into the home where they can see what's going on, and they want to evaluate, and it's harder for them to tell from the outside. But you do not have to let anyone in your home without a search warrant. And I can tell you that specifically because it's happened to me, with CPS and the police on both sides. So I'm sorry to cut you off there. I just wanted to make sure that people understood that, because that's another thing that, like, we're learning something new on every show, right? We learned about the 688 with the suicide, and like, as far as something like that, I think that's very important for people to know, is because intimidation is used, and the police or CPS, they might not like people sharing stuff like that, but I think it's important for people to know that
Their rights, yeah.
that you have rights as a citizen, and as an American citizen, that you have rights to not let people in without a warrant.
Right, but
And they
for
catch you when you're at a vulnerable time. I'm
right.
sorry.
No, and for all the right reasons that you have rights. I mean, it's
Yes.
not like you're necessarily trying to hide something, but the whole point is that for the right reason, you're taking care of
And
business.
unfortunately, a lot of us feel comfortable because we're like, oh, we're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Right. I invited them into my home before too. And I was like, I was so aggravated that I did, because all of a sudden everything changed. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, CPS came up to my house. They asked me to come in to look around, and they go into my fridge. They want to see the bedroom. They want to see all these different things. I'm just like, and they were talking about I had alcohol in my house. I mean, I'm at the time I was like almost 50 years old, 48 years old, and I'm like, what? I can't have alcohol. I have a daughter. My daughter was living with me at the time, who was 27 years old, and this was over my youngest one, the little one, Noah, and I was like, I mean, even if I'm not, I mean, what about?
Did they have a search warrant, or
They didn't have a search warrant, but like I said, it's like,
interesting.
I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I mean, I lived in a very nice house. He had his own bedroom. I mean, he had his crib. I mean, there was everything possible a child could want. So I'm like, there's nothing that they're going to find on me. And they're looking in the refrigerator, what kind of food I have and everything else. And I'm like, well, I mean, honestly, I could have nothing in my refrigerator and DoorDash every day if I really wanted to. So how can you make those assumptions? So, sorry to cut you off there. I just want to let people know, it's like, you do not have to let anyone in your home unless they have a signed search warrant that says they can come in your home. That's it. So do not, I mean, I'm not saying not to let them in. I'm just saying, is like, you can just say, hey, you know what? Until you come back with a search warrant, or you say you can go get the cops,
Let's do it with some law enforcement.
let's go
in
get the law
place.
enforcement. So this way too, you might feel protected.
Protected.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because if they're saying, "Oh, we're going to get law enforcement," then hey, let's bring the law enforcement. Once you do that, then we'll figure it out, and then see where it goes from there.
And they can be the judge of how you're holding your baby.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even. That's something that I've never even heard before. But that's aggravating me just listening to it, because
I know.
that has something to do with my story as well. But so I'm going to let you continue. I'm sorry to cut you off there. So they come up to the door. They let them in, and then what happens then?
I let him in. I bring him upstairs, and we sit at my table. And I'm sitting there holding my son, and he starts. The the CPS worker starts asking me a whole bunch of questions. And I turned around and I asked him. I said, "Do you who's the one that made a complaint?" And he said, "Oh, it was anonymous." I'm like, "Okay." I said, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Well, you don't look like you're in the right state of mind to sit there and take care of your son." I said, "No." I said, "I'm good." I said, "My son's good. I'm ready about to put him down for bed." I said, "Everything was fine." He said that I had to call a family member to come get my son and to get me. And if I couldn't find a family member to come to get my son or me, that he would have to remove my son from my care.
Mm.
And I asked him, I said, "Why would you have to remove my son?" And he said that in the report it states that I have a mental illness. I said, "Yes." I said, "But I'm still able to take care of my son."
Okay, so So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what's happening. So he says you have a mental illness that was reported to him. He doesn't even
Yeah.
know you have a mental illness other than the fact that someone
Exactly.
said she has a mental illness, correct? He doesn't have any
Exactly.
paperwork. He doesn't have any documents. He doesn't have
Nope.
a SCOLI or nothing like that that says that you have a
Nope.
mental illness. So he's basically, so if I call up and I say, hey, Monica, she's got a baby, and I say, hey, this lady Monica's got a baby who, and I know Monica's a little crazy. She's got a mental illness. So I think you guys should go over there and take her child. They show up and tell Monica, you have a mental illness, so you can't take care of your child, even though you've been taking care of your child, right? Because your child is 3 months old.
I've been taking care of my child, everything. I had all his shots up to date, everything. I showed them all the paperwork from the hospital, from the doctor, and everything.
And think about that. You have to prove that you're being a good mother.
Yeah.
Not, and they don't have to prove that you're being a bad mother.
Right.
You have to prove that
No.
you're being a good mother. That's an issue I
and,
have.
And he still didn't want to hear it. He said that I had to sit there and call my mother or call a family member
To come take the child.
Yeah, come take the child and to take me. So
Mm.
I end up calling my mother. She ended up showing up, and she even asked what the problem was.
Wow. And how did it end?
My son ended up, I had to sit there and go to court for my son. I gave my mother temporary guardianship.
No, I mean that night though. That night when
Yeah,
your
I
mother
ended up-
showed up, what happened?
I end up going with my mom, with my son, all the way out to her house.
Okay. What was there like the conditions in your home not good?
No, the condition, everything was good in my home.
So
My
why
house
did they
was
want you to
clean,
leave your
everything.
home? Because you still have your child. You're just
He told my mother that he felt that I needed a break, being a first-time mother,
Mhm.
that I needed a break, and to have my mother sit there and watch my son while I sat there and slept and took a break.
Okay, well, so he might have thought you were tired, and I'm not defending him, but I'm just saying it's like, and I'll just say this: having multiple children and seeing that how hard it is, and I'm sure all of us can relate to this. Even we have a newborn now. It is very difficult. I'm very lucky. I got, Bridget wakes up in the, I think the baby sleeps through the night, but she doesn't. And, I will tell you, it's because the nurse had said something before we left the hospital and said, hey, you know what? If, one of you have to get up anyway. So if you can let dad sleep, if he's working all day, if you can get up and, even take her out of the room if she's a little fussy and then let dad sleep. This way, at least he gets a good night's sleep. And then maybe he can give you a break during the day and then let you sleep. A little bit, and I got to tell you, it was like I thought the baby slept through the night, so I had all the rest. But I will say, it's like I started being more attentive and trying to let her sleep as well, and getting up. And I will say, I was a little tired, and we've had days at the beginning where it was a little exhausting, and we've both used the words, we need a break, and thank God we have Paula. So thank you very much for that. Yeah. Hey, Paula, she's out there.
Paula's out there.
Oh my God. It's awesome. So I mean, as far as that goes, I will just in defense of that, not saying he took your child away from you or anything like that. Maybe he might have just been taught to look for certain signs and, not being a devil's advocate,
Well,
but
what happened? What did you want to say?
I think they're given way too much power
the power, right?
to decide what's
what.
right.
I think they should be able to
And
make recommendations.
I think
but
that they
not
should have
threaten
more
people.
professionals.
And then it's like right after that, my mother, she had my son for a while, and then she gave my son to my cousin because my mother worked full time.
Oh wow!
And
Right.
then the CPS worker said, okay, let her cousin sit there and have him for a while where she could sit there and go through courses for parenting class and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll sit there and do that.
Yeah.
Then I come to find out that I was pregnant with my daughter. I had my daughter. No sooner I had my daughter in the hospital, CPS showed up.
Mm.
And then they turned around and said, oh, well, we got a report that you have another child, that you have a different father for this child. So we have to sit there and look into this. And I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It
And
sounds
they
like
asked me if I
human
was able to take
violation
care of
to
her. I
me.
said,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I'll take care
Violation
my
of
daughter.
Yeah.
human
I said,
rights.
no problem.
Yeah.
They
Well,
actually turned around and brought me to court and made me choose on what child I wanted to fight for.
Oh my
wow.
God.
It's almost like
Yeah,
control, right? Right? Like they feel like they
yeah.
can control how you live, and that's a problem I'm dealing with now. It's with control. It's like, how is it that I have to sit in a courtroom, and a man could sign a piece of paper that basically says that I can't see my son for certain days?
That's the one issue that I had
How's that
because
possible?
I brought it up. I brought it up with the CPS worker because they gave me a different worker.
Yeah,
I brought it up to her and I asked her. I said, "Why are you guys coming after me
yeah,
and making me choose between my son and my daughter?"
yeah.
I
Especially
said,
without,
"That's really." I said, "That's not fair and that's not right." I said, "What kind of proof do you have
yeah.
that I'm not capable of taking care of my kids?"
Well, that's one thing that I think that we need to start doing is they need to, instead of us having to prove that we're liable, like we're good parents, how about prove that we're bad parents before and then take the child away? Like how is it that it's like proving yourself innocent? It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? That's what this
But the whole
whole
thing,
uh-huh.
But the whole thing about it is the one thing with the case with my daughter that really irked my nerve was when they had me go for my visit at DSS to see my daughter. They had my daughter in like I think it was like a foster care group home. They weren't even taking care of my daughter. They
Mm.
weren't even changing her diaper. They weren't doing nothing. My daughter came to me when I had to visit, and she was sick.
So
Her
they
diaper
they
was
took her
sick.
out
Her
of your
diaper.
house, put her somewhere where she's actually getting worse treatment than
Yes,
what they
she
were
actually.
accusing you.
Yeah, they. When I turned around and had my daughter, I was sitting there trying to sit there and tell them that my daughter had a dirty diaper. She had a runny nose. She was coughing, and I said, "This is not how my daughter was."
Did you
And
did
they,
you tell that to CPS? Who did you complain that
yes,
to?
I told her. I explained that to them and everything,
And
and
what
they
did they
end up
do?
calling. They end up sitting there calling their supervisor in, and the
Uh-huh.
supervisor came in and snatched my daughter out of my hands and said the visit was over.
Wait, what? So
Yeah,
you complained the fact
I
that
complained.
th-
Yeah, I
what was
complained to
happening, how
them
your
that my
daughter's
daughter.
being treated. They came and took your daughter out of your hands. See,
Yeah.
I hope to God I'm never in that situation where someone takes my child out of my hands.
They turned around and took my daughter out of my hands.
I'm
And when
sorry.
I went to ask them why my visit was cut short.
Mm.
They said that I was too hostile for my daughter and that she was crying about it. My daughter was crying because her diaper was filled and she didn't even eat.
I'm
And she
sorry.
had a runny nose and she was sick. And they turned around and told me that if I didn't leave the grounds now, that I would lose my daughter and I would lose my son.
Well, I appreciate you giving us a call and sharing this story with us, and I hope that some people hear this and understand that we have some issues that need to be addressed with CPS. And I want to thank you for calling, and I really do appreciate you coming on our show. And
No problem.
hopefully you continue to watch. We're actually we started this thing trying to do a 1 hour show, and so far
It's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. And
You said
next
30 minutes, actually. when
30
you
minutes
first
was when we
started.
first started.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be able to get everything in 30 minutes.
Yeah, but
Now we'll do 2-minute
But
segments.
it's like we're getting
Well-
some
The
good
one
stuff.
And I think
Yeah.
we should have a chance to
The one thing I can sit there
decompress here
say
and
is
talk
that
about it.
my son is doing better and my daughter is also doing better.
Great for you.
Okay.
That's a
Like,
good
I-
story.
They're both doing good. They
How old are they
live
now?
with my daughter is 11 and my son is 12.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome. Okay, good.
Yeah,
From 2
they're
months
doing
to
very
12.
well, but
Awesome.
I just wanted to come on and share my story because this situation here has to change with them. It needs more communication and everything.
So
I'm so sorry you all went through that. It's
yeah,
terrible.
so what your advice, your input on this is you're saying that you need what the communication you think is the biggest thing with CPS?
CPS needs to have more communication, and they need to seriously look at how they're handling different cases
Mm.
because we're all different.
Do you feel
And
as though they took it personal, right? Do you feel as
I
though
feel that they did. I feel that they did. I
like he
feel
gave you an
that they
attitude, he didn't
basically-
like you or something like that, and he kind of like went, they went that way?
In all honesty, I
different
felt
back
like he used my mental illness against me.
Yeah.
And then with my daughter, I felt that they used me having another child by a different person, I feel that they use that against me. Like they're trying to control me on who I can have a child with and who I can't.
Oh, well,
And
that's
that's not fair.
a whole nother
That's
game.
not right, and that's not fair.
Do you mind
it's
sharing
like,
with me what that mental illness is? Do you mind telling me what that is?
yes, I suffer with severe depression and bipolar disorder and PTSD.
Okay. All right. And do you take medication for any of that?
Yes, I do. And like my doctor said, I'm doing very well. I'm raising my other child. I'm raising my 4-year-old son and everything. I'm
Good for
doing
you.
great.
Well, yeah, keep it up, and I hope life goes very well for you, and I hope they maybe get you to call in again on another show. So you have a great night, and I hope you continue to watch. Next Friday, we're going to be on. It's not next Thursday. It's going to be next Friday, and it's going to be definitely 2 hours. So it's probably going to go 4. We'll be out of here at like 1 a.m.
Yeah,
And-
we're never going to
but
leave.
It's going to be about vaccines next week and how we think that, well, not we, but I'm just going to say that there's somebody coming on that thinks that vaccines are a creator of a lot of things, including some of the things that you're talking about you've been diagnosed with. So if you want to tune in next Friday, 7:00, we're going to have Antonio Mazzarelli. And I
thank you for having me on.
all right, honey, you take care. You have a great night, all right?
You take care too, Frankie.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, Frank, I mean, I know, like, since
Man.
we're going, yeah. that
No,
was
no. Well,
tough.
my
I
daughter,
wanna hear your
daughter,
story.
my daughter has been responding to a lot of things that's been going on here.
Oh, okay.
And she, I mean, for me to actually get into everything that happened 30 years ago, was it? 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what happened. There's a lot of water under the bridge, and sometimes I just want to block it out and not go back there.
Yeah.
I know that there's two sides to every story, and I know I could have done a better job. There's no question about it. I think, but there is a certain point where the scales of justice tipped real far. And at that point, it was, you try and understand the logic. There's something that I think is more important to me bellyaching about what happened to me. And I'm speaking strictly for myself. And it's more of the fact that there's a lot of complicated set of circumstances that we heard tonight. They were not just about two people. But in a lot of cases, the situations are about two people that don't get along and take it out on the kids. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And take advantage of the system to do it.
And then use the
They
system.
weaponize it.
And then take advantage of weaponizing the kids themselves as the piece of goods.
Yeah, like a pawn.
Chattel is the word I always use, and it becomes the worst part about the situation. I know you have probably more to say about, because I keep it quiet. But at the same token, I mean, I've been there. I've been in this situation, and it.
Yeah, he talks about how painful it was during that time, that it was just so hard to fight back. That it was just, he had to just let it go.
I think that having the information that's going on at the time and paying attention to what's happening, becoming a little bit more legally aware, and then also whether it's documenting information that's taking place during that period of time. Mm-hmm. If that means taping conversations, which is legal, at least in this state, as long as one party is aware, mm-hmm. and has whatever that word I'm looking for. You know how I forget. Permission. It was a simple word like permission. Oh, the cameras are over here. Yeah. Permission, right? So there's some things but I think that the biggest part, I think as we go along here, maybe some of these issues iron out. The other aspect of this is because I'm hearing so many things in my head, the time frame, and the caseworkers are all overloaded. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, this is my child, and this is me, and that's that. And I'm not part of an entire system that I have to suffer because of the system.
Exactly.
And so that's not an
It
excuse.
should have
as
nothing
far
to
as
do
I'm
with all
concerned.
the other cases.
I do have some compassion for that because they're the ones that are put into the overload position. So that's not all their fault. But then not to take a look at this case. I mean, there's court cases that I've been in where it's like it's 4:45 on a Friday afternoon and they want to get it done. So it's like, are you going to make a decision?
Yeah.
No,
That's
I'm
not
not.
fair.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
make a decision if we don't have a decision to
Just
be
happened
made.
to me the other day.
I didn't want to say it because, and that's the thing where the to make, and in some cases that works out to your advantage. But I'd rather just, I understand you got 30 cases in that day and you have 8 hours to do it and you can only fit 20 cases. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I could talk all day about this.
I wanted to address the 30 days, though.
Okay.
And look at a different
The
way.
30 days is what they're told they're given. Now, I don't know that as a fact. If we had Sabrina, we'd know, but 30 days is
Well,
Someone
what-
think
in the
about-
comments said 60 days too. So
someone
that's
commented
still not a
60
lot
days.
of time, but
yeah, because, like if anything,
Yeah.
I mean, like there could be a lot involved, a lot
But
of
think
information.
about the other side of it. If these children are taken away from their mother or their parent, they have 30 days to move on it.
Yeah.
So they can get back to their
Right.
parents.
Yeah.
So you could look at it that way.
I
too, you know?
that
that
actually
makes it a
yeah,
long
because they're
time.
trying to hurry it up because
Right.
they want to, if they can get the kid back into the
Right,
home.
right.
Yeah.
That, well, you know what? So that's another good way of looking at it.
Yeah,
So we,
sure.
I go ahead. You want to say? Something you
No,
want to say? Yeah.
not
So
at all.
I basically just wanted to say like, so I had an issue. I have a son, and a CPS was involved. This was a couple years ago, and they had showed up because it was actually his first birthday, and his mother and I had an what is that noise?
It's like a comment.
Oh, comments. Okay. I'm like, what the hell is going
Are
on
they?
here? So
Yeah, there's a comment.
the comments are blinking.
And
yeah.
maybe likes.
Yeah, but why are we getting sound from him?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't hear him before.
Oh,
Yeah, but the police come anyway, and we had an argument, and CPS came and they did their investigation and everything else, and did this stuff, and then they said that they called me back and they said we'll let you know our findings, and they said, yeah, we found you guilty of endangering a child because we were having an argument. Because I agreed that I said we did have a loud argument and my child was there, but I was like, that's. So, I mean, so there's a case against me in CPS because I had an argument in front of my child. And I'm thinking to myself, I can remember my parents having lots of arguments in front of me. I mean, and I think that it's like, me personally, I think I'm trying to put it in words, maybe like being a little too soft
sensitive.
and sensitive in this world. Listen, I get it. We want the best for our kids.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
this is the absurdity. Meanwhile, the TV shows whatever they want to show, and so you've got prime time is what it is, but you don't want the children to see their parents arguing, but they're exposed to everything else that is
Everything.
adult
They're
in the
teaching
world.
kids about
so it's
sex and
absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
Right.
it doesn't make any
funny.
sense. It's like a
funny.
double standard sword, and
Right.
it's not even.
But if you
funny.
bring up that side of it, then there's either a look away or it's like you need to stop talking. No. Now's the time to talk.
Now's the time to talk about
and you
it.
need to address it.
Yeah.
But that seems to be what happens. That people shrug their shoulders. They go and they don't want to address these issues where there's dichotomies and there's some kind of contradictions going on.
and then we can go into like a butt whipping. I mean, I got butt whippings as a child, and I could tell you, growing up and becoming a man, it's like I respected my father more than I respected anyone in this world. Now, did my dad beat me? No. I got spankings though. I mean, I can't tell you how many, but I could tell you it was a few. But I also was a bad kid. And it's not because he didn't, and he would tell me afterwards, after he gave me a spanking, he'd be like, he'd hug me and tell me, like, listen, I love you. I don't want to do this to you, but I need you to remember what you did was wrong. And I got to tell you, if my dad came home and just be like, hey, you've been a bad boy today, go to your room, I'd be like, man, that's all right, no problem. But I would remember sometimes thinking before I did something stupid or like while I was doing it, it's like, dang, I better not do this because my dad is going to get a hold of me and he's going to rip he's going to beat the daylights out of me. Even though that's an expression. He didn't beat the daylights out of me. He gave me a spanking. I mean, and I'll be honest with you. So as far as like my older child, Brandon, I mean, I spanked him twice in his life. One time when he was a little kid, he was probably like 6 years old, and it wasn't a hard spanking because they did something I told him not to do, and he was going to get hurt. And I, him and his sister were down there, and they were in a bad area, dangerous. I came home. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I saw their little footprints all around, and I brought them downstairs, showed them what they did, gave them a little spanking, not like hard. And then, they cried, and I hugged them, and I told them I love them. And it's like, you can't do that. Daddy tells you not to do something. That was it. And I can tell you, that was the only time I had to do it until he was in 8th grade. And I'm just going to tell you this story because I think it's important. My son was failing, right? He was failing. He had like a 50. Now, his mother and I were not together his entire life. And I was, I got him on the weekends, but I was very active in his life. And she calls me up one day and says, Frank, listen, I don't know what to do. The teachers want to have a conference. So I'm like, all right, we go to school. I see my son's got like a 50 average. I'm like, 50? You get a 50 for showing up, I'm thinking, just to go to school. I was like, man, I wasn't the brightest kid in school, but I mean, I got above a 50. So we sit there, we listen to all the teachers, and the teachers say, okay, listen, we're going to come up with this paper, and every one of his teachers are going to fill something out, say how he did in class, and his mother or father have to sign it and go back every day, and you have to read what he did and I was like, so I look at Danielle. I was like, is this what you want to do? You want to do homework every night? Like, is this what we're gonna do? Like, this is. But I said, hey, listen, I tell you what, I'll agree to anything you guys decide. There's like 10 people in the room. Whatever you want. If his mother says yes, I'll agree to it. But if this doesn't work, then we're gonna do it my way. That's it. So sure enough, they did. She took away his Xbox and a couple other things, and they did the signing thing. And within a week, the teachers are actually writing, he wasn't paying attention in class today. He was talking to somebody. He was late. He was doing this. And his mother's like has to go home and read it and sign it. It's not fixing the problem, right? So I can't believe I'm going to talk about this on the air, but I think it's important.
Here we go.
I think it's important. So his mother calls me.
Here we go.
This is maybe about a month later. She tried to give it a little time. She calls me up and says, hey, Frank, okay, let's do it your way. So I do. I go pick him up. And I don't say literally 2 words to him. He gets in the back of the truck, and at the time I was married, and I had my younger daughter in the car with me. I drove right to the school, and I'll never forget it because the grass looked so green that day. I can remember that day clean. It looked so green. And there's only one person there, the guy out cutting it. And I think that's why I ended up getting a long service because of that. No, because I love my son so much, and you got to understand. It's like I realized because my father did things like this to me. I mean, I got it more because my son was not even close to being as bad as I was. But I remember saying I took him out behind the truck, and I said, told him pull his pants down. I did. I took off my belt and I whacked him a couple times, and he was crying. I was crying, and I hugged him, and I said, son, I love you, and I'll do anything in the world for you, but I want you to understand something. If I get one more report that you are not doing what you're supposed to do in this school, this same exact thing is going to happen in those doors during school. And I don't care if they put me under a jail. I'm going to embarrass you in front of all your friends. And I got to tell you, the look on his face was priceless. I'll never forget it. Now, he was a kid. I mean, this was like in middle school still, like he's about to go into high school. Because once you get into high school, you don't have all of that help like you do in elementary and middle school, where the teachers are, hey, Brandon, you got to do this. You got to do that. You get to high school, they're just like, hey, you don't do your homework, you're failing. That's it. They're not holding your hand anymore. I was like, this is the real world. And we got in the car, and I said, I don't expect you to be the smartest kid in school, but I would need you to apply yourself. Right. You don't need to get 100 average. But you're not stupid. If he was stupid, I'd say, hey, you know what? Okay, you're a dummy, and I got it. I'm okay with it. You're just stupid. But he wasn't stupid. I'm being honest.
No,
if your kid is dumb,
we're going right with you on this.
I'm just trying to talk real. That's what we're about. We're going to talk. And I'm telling this story because I want to keep it real.
But we can also laugh because we're real too.
So we get in the car, and now at the time, my wife's looking at me like I'm crazy. I said, I don't care what you got to do. You just got to get through school. You got to pass. And if you get a 65, that's passing. Now, I mean, I know if you apply yourself, you'll get better than that. And he did. So the greatest story ever is now I never got another call, never got a complaint. He passes middle school. He goes into high school. Now, I can't say this is all because of what I did, you know, I mean, because I'm sure he's had help from his mother and everybody else, but he goes into high school, he maintains probably around an 80 average, I'm guessing. And then he applies for the Air Force. He takes the test, he gets top 10%, which you can pick any job you want in the Air Force.
Right.
Now here it is, a kid that's getting a 50
Right.
you know, and all of a sudden now he changed, just applying himself, but it was like, now I don't know if it was the fear, I don't know what it was, but I'm saying that situation happened and it all changed. And I mean, something similar happened to me when I was a kid. I got my butt whipped and I said, you know what? I got to make sure I pass. I got to stop goofing off in school. You know, I still did my little goofing off and stuff like that. Just, if anybody from school is watching this, you know that I got in a lot of trouble. So, so my dad was like, oh my God, not again. But I'm just saying, it's like, I didn't beat my children, you know, like, I mean, I gave him a spanking and I was like, that's the one thing that they're saying, oh, you can't touch your kids. They're going to call the cops and everything. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, look, this is my opinion. I'm not telling you to spank your kids. I'm not telling you not to spank your kids. Let's get that clear. I'm just saying it's like that situation worked for me. It did work for me. And my son is an amazing young man. I mean, well, he's not young anymore. He's
How old
30.
is he?
He's
30.
31 years old.
That's
I mean,
that's more
and
than a young man.
He's dating. I mean, but I could tell you, he's down in Texas. He met a very nice girl. My son is one of the most respectful men I've ever seen in my life. It's like almost impressive how respectful he is. And growing up with his mother, he's like, he cares about her. He nurtures her. I mean, like, he is such a good man that I was like, when I met Molly, I'm like, man, she's a lucky woman to have a man this compassionate. And I want to say I'm partly to blame for it, but I think a lot of it had to do with just life experiences and growing up with his mother, you know, seeing how, like, he wants a woman treated. That's how he wants to treat his woman, you know. But I remember that story, and I remember, honestly, I had to sit down and talk to somebody one time who were evaluating me, and I just felt like I had to tell her that story, and she's looking at me like I'm crazy. She's like, "Why would you tell me that you spank your child when you're in here for like?" I forgot what, anger management. I don't know what it was, some kind of thing.
Yeah, go figure.
I know. But I was trying to say, I was like, I wasn't the kind of guy, though, that just go home and beat at my kids for no reason. I mean, like, he got in trouble and boom, and that was it. I mean, and that was like one of 2 times that had ever happened through, you know, 17 or 18 years of his life. Right. You know? So, I mean, I know there's situations where kids are getting just beat up and spanked and everything else.
Yeah, it's a different story.
It's a whole nother story, you know? And I mean, obviously with girls,
you know better
it has
now,
to be different.
right?
Yeah.
It's just there's so much help out there.
There's a lot more help.
On how to handle kids that are a little unruly.
There is.
So much.
I mean, I was never a big believer in timeout because if you put me in timeout as a kid, I got to tell you that, you know, as soon as timeout was over, time was on. But I will
back to the drawing board.
Talking about that though, I don't think that kids today are the same, you know, because everyone's medicated. You know, if you run outside, they're saying you have ADHD. They want to give you a pill for it. You know, they pump them up with sugar and cereal in the morning. I mean, it's insane what is happening. And
which brings us,
we're bringing that to the next show.
Brings
vaccines
us up to the next level and where we're going to be going. And I think you should actually have the honors to bring this up. But I do want to say one thing. My kid, one of my kids, it's the boy, yeah, because Amanda, man, I remember it's a completely different, it's so long ago. It's like 2 different lifetimes. And then he comes around and I remember I didn't do that route. I didn't have to do the.
You never had to spank him.
No, I never did.
I would.
I think Amanda. I think Amanda. When I was a young parent and I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I say that I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to control the situation as well. So that seemed to be, because I had gotten whacked when I was a kid. That seemed to be the way that you did it.
Yeah, but you didn't want to do that.
Brianna didn't really create much of an issue, at least when she was around me. She wasn't a heller, so it wasn't an issue. And then Liam is he's an energetic kid. He's got all sorts of energy.
He's amazing.
And but he's also when he was young, he would be like, you know, asking me questions, and that energy needed to be directed some way. But the thing that I remember the most that he said to me, which is the most flattering thing for me, was when I was doing music out, and he was, kind of enjoying playing with rap, and he wanted to do a little acting, do his thing. And in the living room, he was fine. And then I said, well, why don't you go out and why don't you show some people? And he was like, I don't know. Well, I pushed him and I threw him on stage. And he will tell you, as far as I remember, and we'll see if this is true when we get him on the show, because I thought maybe I had done something
uncomfortable
wrong.
situation.
And he said that was probably one of the most productive moments in his life, because he said for number one, you believed that I could do it.
I love it.
And number two, you put me in a position that I had to deal with the situation in a way that gave me the confidence to do it again and again and again.
I hope people hear that, because I've heard that before from my best friend Alex Sukar. His mother Gloria, I love you, Gigi, she goes by. She did that to him at a young age, put him in a room and made him get up there and throw his pitch. And he told me, I remember, he said to me, he says, I was never so scared in my entire life, but after that, I was able to go in any room and talk to anyone.
Right. Right.
And I said to and just as you said that, I thought of his story. And I said, he said to me, he's like, I'm so glad I was uncomfortable, but I made it through it. I was nervous, shaking, my voice is cracking, everything else. My father did the same thing to me at the Italian Center.
Right.
I had to give it. I didn't even know. I was probably like 14, and he was getting an award or something. They were like, hey, son, go up there and you go accept it for me. So I was like, what? I get up there and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm like, hi, everybody. I'm Frank Flowers, my dad. I'm like, I don't even know what I said, to be honest, but I remember shaking. My hands are sweating. But after that, now look at us. Look, we're able to talk to people. I went and talked at the elementary school over there in front of all these kids. And a kid went home and says, Frankie Flowers came to the school today and he says, in order to live, you got to give. And I'm going to tell you, when a parent called me and told me that, I was like, and these kids are awesome. 5, 6, 7 years old. And I was like, he remembered that. And I was like,
I love it.
I remember saying it, but I was like, that's kind of cool, right? I mean, that some kid goes home and tells his mother. And I said, holy cow, we actually, you made an impression. And that's where I think we need this show to go, because we want to make impressions on people, and they make impressions on their kids, and they get informed.
Right. And in reference to the show that's coming up, because I think it's whether it's pivotal or it's a pretty good sized show, because it's a controversial subject. But
Vaccines.
The whole vaccine thing, my thought on this, and I have an arsenal of information, and I also have the experience. Mm-hmm. So there's two different instances that we'll discuss when that moment comes up. Yeah. But I also understand the other, we'll call it the other side, the side that's saying no, everything's fine the way it is. Mm-hmm. It's people who have been put in a position for such a long time, and it's almost like a faith, mm-hmm. where you think that which you have believed in for so long is now crumbling around you. Mm. And I get that and this is why there's this backlash. Mm. So I'm hoping that both, we could preach to the choir, people who are out there who want to, talk about, we know this already, but there's the group that I would love to sit and just chat with people who are in that position of, hey, I did something. No, it's not. There's no fault here. Yeah, I was in that position.
You're thinking you're doing the best thing for your child.
My parents did what they could. I will tell my story, because my stories with Amanda and Brianna is a lot different than it was with Liam when it came to that, because Amanda and Brianna were very conventional, and then I understood a little bit more about that whole process, and then Liam was he was the poster child for that organic baby, and that all went by the wayside later on in his life, because he wanted to do things that required, because of the laws changing, for him to do it. So I want to be able to have something to say about that.
Well, we're definitely gonna have you talking. I'd love to hear it.
But I think that Antonio Mazzarelli is very, very knowledgeable and has done a lot of studying. the thing that I just want to try and emphasize to people is that the people that are actually the spokespeople most of the time are not the people that are taking the vials and the blood and the beakers and the test tubes and putting them into the fray. So when the president comes out and says something, I don't care who the president is. I don't care what, it seems
it could
like
be anybody. I could be the president.
Yeah, right. It's not. I don't care. I'm not a MAGA dude. I'm just going and trying to make life better for myself, for the people that are around me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to look at who's there, and I also have seen some pretty wild stories during a period of time that, when I see what the media says and I see what he or other people have said, I see two totally different stories that have been told.
Mm-hmm.
But that they're not the ones doing the testing. There's people behind that whole system. And for years and years and years, we've had less than independent testing.
Oh, yeah.
Less
it's all
than
paid for.
independent testing.
That's the one thing.
We want to sell
I can give you
this,
results.
and we also want you to test it. Yeah. Well, that's...
And how can we really, and be honest with you,
absurd.
how can we really know where we're going to be if they've never actually taken unvaccinated and vaccinated? That's the thing. We're not really going to know until generations go by, right?
No. I think the reason is because we have a history already.
Yeah.
And then what happens is some people will say, well, that's because of X. Yeah. Because
they say it's hereditary.
Or
I'm tired of hearing that bullcrap.
right. Or they'll say something like, well, we don't have any records from back in the day. We don't have any records. So everybody was effed up back then, but we just didn't know it. I mean, that's not true.
Yeah. You ever wonder why the doctor's office only has to keep your records 7 years? Like, think about that. Just think. I mean, like, think about this. This is your medical. Yeah, it's 7.
I didn't.
I didn't know that.
I'm
Is that
almost
new?
positive. I mean, there is a certain amount of time. You know what, Paula? Is Paula here still? Paula, are you there?
No.
Is she out there?
Did you want to say something before? Were you going to say something?
I was going to say something a little bit
because her husband's a doctor.
like a side,
It's all right.
like a side point that we have to look at everything that's happening right now in the world from a bird's eye view.
Right.
There's crumbling, systems are crumbling everywhere. It's not just the medical system. Oops. It's not just the medical system, but, schools, everything is crumbling. And we have to really adjust to what's happening because we have to restructure it.
Right.
And when, bright minds get together, we can put something together that benefits humanity more so than benefiting, bankers and pharmaceuticals.
Well, whomever. But I mean, the funny thing is there are intelligent people on every side of the fence at this point.
Right.
It's not like
what I'm saying is just that.
I get it. I'm just saying it's the intelligence level is all across the board. It doesn't matter what party you're in. That's why our opening song, when I wrote it, I said, leave your party at the door. This is all about just coming in here and trying to let that be part of that over there. That was that. Because I think if we looked at the independents nowadays, we probably would see that group has migrated a certain way, let's say. And I don't even want to, I want to do some studying on this over the next week because it's interesting. Those people were always kind of like the common sense people, we'll say. And there's these other groups that are slightly skewed either way. And then you've got the other groups that go further and further out. But this other group in the middle, and then you've got independents, which kind of stayed in that middle ground. It seems to me that all of that area up until the fringes is relatively ready to make some decisions and come together.
We want the same thing,
right?
Basic things.
So and it doesn't have anything to do with racism. It doesn't have anything to do with with whether it's good or not to take vaccines. It's about what our choices are as people and how we can work together.
I like that.
That's all.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's 9:03. Here we go. Another 2-hour episode.
I'll say goodbye for Bridget. Her music is coming out at midnight, and good thing we didn't go all the way till midnight, but we would have been able to actually usher that music in.
It's called "Don't Waste My Time," and
Don't
we're
waste
trying
my
not to
time.
waste yours.
No, and we hope this hasn't been a waste. Of
No,
time.
we hope it doesn't. We really
I
want
don't
this
think
to
so.
be successful. We want a lot of people to get involved and get connected, and we want to hear from you. We're going to go
Thanks
through the
so
comments.
much for listening, and I mean, I know we got a little long winded, but I think that kind of a subject has the legs on it to go the distance, and I think we had a lot of people listening well within the hour and 40-minute mark.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and we still have quite a few people. We appreciate you guys hanging in there to the end.
So,
so
once
that's
again,
it.
yeah, our sponsor TJ Pizza again, 595 Dutchess Turn. 595 Main Street, Poughkeepsie, and Mag Auto. That's 695 Dutchess Turnpike, Poughkeepsie. Stop by and buy your used cars, and make sure you go see Pape.
And for all you people who chimed in today on comments, we really appreciate it. I tried to keep going, so all of the comments have nothing to do with Frankie. It's my own comments. back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
yeah. He's commenting as me.
As him. So yeah, take care, and we'll see you next week.
Next
See you then.
week. Take care.
Bye bye.